Thanks for joining us. This is Weekend Winners and we're focusing on Albion Park. It's a 10-race program this Saturday night. Action gets underway at 5:37. I'm going to speak with Brendan Barnes and Angus Garrard. Both of these young drivers have really good books, so they're going to play a really key role at this meeting across the weekend. Hopefully we'll be able to find a winner or two. Let's have a chat now to Brendan Barnes with his book of drives on Saturday night.
Brendan Barnes with an excellent book of drives at Albion Park on Saturday night. He jumps in the hot seat to go through his drives. Brendan, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris. Thank you.
It's an excellent way to start the program for you on Saturday night. Fisherman, you were with this guy last week and he was huge in defeat.
Yeah, he was. He had to do a lot of work and yeah, he's just going super well at the moment.
Beaten by a good mare too in Scarlet Babe. Last week it was 2,138 metres. Saturday night it's a mile. Any preference for him?
Oh, sort of the way he's going at the moment, it doesn't really matter. I probably do prefer him at the mile, but he's racing super over both at the moment, really.
Is there a possibility that he could, develop into a summer carnival prospect here, Fisherman?
I think so, and he goes really good off the speed as well. He's not a one-trick pony, and he doesn't have to be on the speed. Like a couple of his runs there, when he was out of the draw and he was getting driven from behind, he was going just as well.
You've got speed to your inside with Jumping Jack Jimmy. You've got speed to your outside with Street Appeal. How does this race play out early for you?
I'd say we'll probably have a good look early and see if we can get the front off Jumping Jack Jimmy, and I think we'll have the speed to hold sort of Street Appeal from outside us.
Do you believe you're on the best horse here?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Is Waz Firebug looming as the main danger?
She's a quality mare. It just sort of depends what sort of trip she gets and sort of how much work we've got to do and what the tempo's like up front.
Okay, well that's Fisherman in race 1. Race 2, Sam is Perfection. Is this within his reach, this race?
Yeah, like the veterans grade sort of is right up his alley, but they've gotten quite hard over the last probably month or so. They've taken that condition off them and it's really sort of opened it up to sort of quite a lot of handy horses. But with the right trip, we know how quick he can be. Against
this field, is he better served at the 2,138 metres?
I think so. I do like him at the longer trip. If they bowl along early, he'll still get home in his same sort of low 27 quarters.
Do you think there's going to be a genuine tempo throughout here?
It looks that way on paper.
Okay, so he's not hopeless?
No, definitely not.
All right. Race number 3, Our Southern Star. She was first up off the break. She ran 5th. Barrier 3, is that just a little sticky?
Yeah, a little sticky. Her run first up was really good, but there's speedy beginners inside her, but we're just going to have to sort of see where we can sort of get to and hopefully we can get a nice little trail and she could probably run top 5 again.
Was she a pass mark first up?
Yeah, more than a pass mark. She actually went a lot better than we thought she would.
Okay, Key Largo looks ideally placed here. Barrier 1, super effort last week. You beat him last week, Franco Hampton. Is he the horse to beat?
I think so. It looks his race to lose from the draw.
All right. Race number 4, this is the Open. Gerarda's Delight. I'm fascinated to get your thoughts on this star mare. Group 1 winner of the Golden Girl. Personally, I thought last week she was excellent given how that race unfolded. Yeah, she was super. It was probably a stinker of a drive. I probably was better off sort of staying where I was rather than looking for gaps sort of around the 400. And I think if we sort of stay on Black Sedance's back, we'd probably run 2nd or 3rd. Geez, you're harsh.
Very harsh.
Yeah, okay. I thought she was really good. It was probably just one of those snap decisions you had to make at the time, but you obviously felt you made the wrong call.
Yeah, so at the right time, it seemed like sort of punch the gaps and sort of see how we go, but sort of the moment we decided to go back to the inside, replaced I sort of gave a little bit of ground and we sort of ended up, sort of running up behind them and know where to go and then sort of having to check off heels and come around them and then she hit the line super.
Okay. Everyone expects Turn It Up to lead this race. Black Sedance draws directly behind him. You being 2 off the second row, is 3 pegs a good option here?
It does look the obvious thing to do. Obviously, Black Sedance, he can be a little bit untractable there from barrier 8, so we'll just have to sort of play it by ear there, but that looks the obvious option for us.
Okay. Is she on track for that mare's feature on November 6th?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that's Gerarda's Delight. Let's move across now to race 7, Crazy Shippo. Is he getting closer to a win?
Yeah, I'd like to hope so. He is a sort of horse, he'll come out and he runs a really, really nice race and then we sort of get a little bit disappointed with him, but it's not a hard race this, I'm just not really sure where we're going to end up, but I think if he puts his best foot forward, he can definitely sort of run a good race.
You've got Albaloo to your inside, and you've got Glen Eagle Warrior to your outside. They're going to be 2 of the major players. Do you sort of want to get nice and handy as quickly as possible here?
Yeah, sort of. I think it's only a small back line, so there's sort of we got options, and the one My Ultimate Bondi gets out the gate really good as well. So we'll just have to see how they're all coming out early, but we should be able to be pretty handy.
All right, the last race, the Trot. Your drive here is One Night Out. He backs up from Tuesday to Redcliffe. He was unplaced there. Were you disappointed?
Yeah, very disappointed with him Tuesday. Actually, we thought he'd probably nearly go there and go pretty close to winning, but yeah, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, you drove him like the best horse. You put him into the race, but he just didn't finish off.
No, and we think he's sort of better off driven that way. He doesn't seem to want to sprint. If you pull him out with 200 to go, he doesn't sort of want to sprint off a helmet. So we thought we'd just sort of keep him out there bowling along, and yeah, it just wasn't to be.
All of his best form looks like it's at the 2138 metres. It's the 2600 on Saturday night. Any concern?
No, we'll just have to play it by ear. I don't think we got enough speed early to sort of hold out the 2, but it's sort of a big rising grade for it. So hopefully we can sort of step decent enough to be handy and see how we end up.
Might be some family rivalry here because your main dangers loom as Father Christmas, who was super last week, and your brother's tried to G up Nettie, who's going really well also.
Yeah, it adds a little bit more to it. Hopefully we can beat them home.
Okay, well that's one night out there in that final race. Good book of drives. Which one are you keen on most?
Probably Rock Fisherman with the draw. We can put him into it and make our own luck, I think.
All right, start the night with a bang there. Race 1, number 3, Rock Fisherman. Brendan, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thanks, Chris.
Angus Garrard jumps in the hot seat to go through his book of drives. 6 in total for this 10-race program on Saturday night. Angus, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Chris.
Blue Moon Rising, race 1, number 2. This is your first drive. You know this horse well. 3 runs ago, he was really good. How have you assessed those past 2 efforts?
2 back, it was probably more my fault than anything. We probably should have been on the fence there, but it was just too hard to make ground, and he's sort of a horse that likes to get up on the bit and travel, and when he gets confident, he sort of just keeps on moving through the field. So if we got to the fence there, we'd probably finish a lot closer. But his last run I thought was quite good. They sort of ran home quick there at Redcliffe, and I thought he hit the line more than okay. So if he can get the right luck here, it wouldn't surprise me, although it is tough.
Where do you want to land soon after the start, given that you've got Jumping Jack Jimmy, who's a fast beginner on your inside gate 1, and Rock Fisherman, who's likely to go forward in gate 3? So where do you see yourself landing?
Yeah, it's a little bit tough to work out. I'm just not sure whether Jumping Jack Jimmy will want to take a trail or not. Obviously, I think he's got the speed to lead, but whether they want to take a sit or not. But it sort of doesn't really change our plan. We just sort of got to come out under a hold and sort of look for cover there. I think he has got a bit of gate speed, but he's best if you don't use it. So we'll just look after him early and see if we can find a nice spot and emerge late.
Okay. Race 3, let's talk about Key Largo. Comes up with gate 1, likely to be favourite. Given his recent form, his past 3 runs have been super. Just on last week, would you determine that run to be a career best effort by Key Largo last week?
Yeah, look, it's a little bit hard for me to say. I've only driven him his last 3, but I'd probably think so. Like 52, and he sort of did all the work and only just went down. So he was awesome. If a couple of little things went our way, I don't think he gets beat.
Yeah, given those frantic early sectionals and the work you had to do to find the front, to go down in that manner, he was so brave against Franco Hampton.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not like we ran home slow either. We still got home pretty solid sectionals, so it was a really pleasing run from him.
He looks the leader again from the inside draw. He loves the mile. The bulk of his victories so far have been at the Albion Park mile track and distance range. So is it a simple case that if he repeats what he did last week, he goes all the way here?
Yeah, I think it looks that way, Chris. That doesn't look like there should be as much pressure as last week, at least. It doesn't really look like there'll be much at all, so that'll suit us. Hopefully we can just dictate from the front end and zip home, and hopefully they can't catch us.
So he looks your best bet at this early stage?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Race 5, I'm really interested in your thoughts here. Tommy Lincoln is your drive. He's drawn the inside of the second row. Immediately you think, well, it's not the greatest. But you are drawn to follow out a good beginner in Lombo Heaven. A, do you think Lombo Heaven leads? And B, if he does lead, can you sprint lane and score here?
Yeah, I think so, Chris. On paper, Lombo Heaven should lead. He's sort of held up when he's had the opportunity, so hopefully that leaves us behind the leader, and I think we're certainly good enough to win if we've got momentum going into the passing lane or coming out.
He was really good last week running 4th. He was only just nosed out for that 3rd spot, but he was really good last week in the Open.
Yeah, he was good. He did that little bit of work early, and like you said, he wasn't far away. I think Mark was a little bit disappointed that he didn't run on a little better and hold 3rd, but in saying that, he sort of did do that little bit early, and he still found the line and ran good sectionals.
Mac Da Vinci is obviously the horse that you're focused on here. He was scintillating last time out, 51-1. He hasn't raced for 6 weeks, so there's a big concern on him. He hasn't trialled, and he's got that wide draw, so it's not easy for him.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of hard to know where he's at. We sort of haven't seen him, as you said, 6 weeks. But I think we'll get a pretty good idea by what Shane does early. I think if he drives him sort of positive early, we'll know he's pretty well right, and he's going to be pretty hard to beat then.
Okay. Race 6, Despondent for your dad Darren here. He's got the inside gate. He's rising in grade, but he looks like he's going to be more than competitive here.
Yeah, that's right. He stepped up in grade last week to the qualies, and I thought he was awesome. I thought if he was one spot closer, he probably wins that race. So he comes up with a good draw, and hopefully we can find a nice trip.
Young Conqueror, many are going to find him. I think he's going to be well found in the markets. Is he the hardest to beat?
Yeah, I think so. That's not to say I don't think we can beat him, but he's probably the main danger.
Okay. What about the 2138 metres? Do you prefer him at this distance range, or do you like him at the mile?
I really don't think it matters the way we've been driving him. We've sort of just been looking after him a bit early, and he's been finding the line super, no matter whether it's 21 or a mile. So I don't think it matters if you drive him that way, and he always sort of finds the line strong.
Okay. Race number 8, again for your dad here, Gina Tiano. She's got gate 6. You've got a stack of speed drawn to your inside.
Yeah, that's right. Not a great draw, but in saying that, she doesn't have brilliant early speed either, so it wouldn't really matter too much, I don't think. So we'll just get back and look for a nice helmet to follow and see if we can get into it late.
So you're just hoping that those leaders sort of cook themselves early?
Yeah, that's right. If they run a really strong first half, I'm sure she can get over the top, but we just need luck.
All right. In the last, the trot, Spider's Devil. You've picked up the drive on this trotter, 4-trainer Richard Hutchison. He's got gate 2, so he starts off the front line along with One Night Out. It's 2,647 metres. It's probably a step up in class. How do you think he's going to measure up here?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to say, Chris. He sort of steps well up in grade, as you said, but I think he's been racing well enough, so I don't think he'll be too far away.
Okay, well that's Spider's Devil there in the last. Is it all pointing towards Key Largo?
Yeah, I think Key Largo, but I also think Despondent's a really good chance in his race as well.
Okay, so that's race 3, number 1, Key Largo. Despondent comes through as race 6, number 1. Angus, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries, thanks, Chris.
As always, a big thanks to both Brendan Barnes and Angus Garrard giving up their time and insights ahead of this card on the weekend. Time now for the best bet, and I'm keen on race 8, horse 3, Vouchers. She was a real eye-catcher last week. Tomorrow night she comes up with a front row draw, pretty much the same sort of opposition as what she faced last week, and I think with this good front row draw, if she can lead, she's going to prove very hard to beat. Yet to win this season, but this race looks well within her reach. So race 8, number 3, Vouchers, that's the final leg of the quaddie. I think we can go skinny there and stand her out in that final leg. Looking forward to this meeting coming through on Saturday night. 10 races, 5:37 start time for race 1. We'll see you trackside.